All right. So what I want to discuss right now is, are all virtual assistants created equal? What are the differences with virtual assistants? I want to cover some tips on how to get good ones. I want to set you up with some realistic expectations about what you're going to be getting involved in with your virtual assistant search, and just spread as much information with you as possible. If you haven't viewed anything on this channel before, we cover lots of information pertaining to virtual assistants. I've been in the virtual assistant industry for many years and own a small call center over in Cebu City in the Philippines. Do lots of different BPO work. So let's get to it, and let's get down to what virtual assistants are better than others. So before we really get started here, we need to kind of acknowledge the point that there are different kinds of virtual assistants. And depending on what the different use is for our virtual assistant, we're going to be looking for different attributes that we're going to want them to have. Some of the general types of virtual assistants that we have, kind of starting at the more basic and then going up from there, are the basic kind of lowest level that you're generally able to find. It's going to be the most cost-effective ones are people who are doing really simple tasks, data entry, things that maybe don't require them to have to speak English very well. If we don't have to really write or understand English super well, then we're able to get a lot less expensive rates on how much we have to pay. And a lot of this stuff can be handled by people that you wouldn't want to give more complex tasks to, but you can get a tremendous bang for the buck for simple things if you kind of stick to this bottom rung. So if we have really simple tasks, then we can get away with having people that are not super qualified, and we can get a good amount of savings. The next rung up from the kind of data entry only types of VAs, or more of a general VA. The general VAs are going to have a fairly broad range of skill sets. They're going to have the ability to work on different spreadsheets, to work with a variety of different types of documents, normally fairly well versed in how to deal with emails, and have a skill set that sets them up to basically be a personal assistant of some sort or another. And with that, there's generally the ability to communicate in English with their client. There may be somewhat of an accent, but a lot of the time it's not really gonna cause too much problems, because as long as the message that is being conveyed is getting across to the client, and it's not something that customers on the front end are going to be listening to or interacting with, then having an accent isn't the end of the world. So there's kind of what you call a general VA, and there's a range there. You're going to have some that speak absolutely impeccable English. You're going to have some that you can communicate with, but the accent's pretty heavy. There's quite a range in the general VA category. From there, we step up to customer service, which basically, these people speak very good English. They have training to be on the phone. They most likely have done quite a bit of phone work in the past. They're good at following scripts very well. Very good for inbound work, or fairly structured, simple outbound work, but stuff where you can, for the most part, stick with the script. So these are going to be for customer service, kind of your your lower level to kind of mid-level call center sort of tasks. From there, the next step up is going to be very similar, but there's an important distinction, and it goes from customer service to sales. The sales requires everything that the customer service does, but in addition, there kind of has to be that hustler mindset that's required to be able to kind of close sales and influence during conversations and be able to take advantage of some of the subtleties and nuances of language to be able to keep the numbers high and everything really productive. There's generally a differentiation here where the people who are really, really good in the customer service realm are eventually going to go into the sales realm. On the back end of it, once we get into sales, in terms of a pay structure, there's generally going to be a basic rate, just like there would be with a general VA, a data entry person, or a customer service person. But then in addition to this, there's normally a pay by performance segment of the compensation package. So commissions of sales, bonuses for hitting quotas, stuff like that. So generally with this higher level of skill, we're expecting to have a higher level of pay. So unless you're willing to cough up, the extra money to capture those people, you're going to be kind of set with the customer service level of people. So from there, from the sales, the next thing above that is specialist. And specialist virtual assistants can come in all kinds of different categories. Very, very common one is programming, website design, graphic artist. There's some very niche down sort of things. You might have a email marketing specialist, a social media specialist, a LinkedIn marketing specialist. It can really range, and some of the people are so niche down that they're pulling on a bunch of clients for these little micro projects. Some people are looking for clients that they can work for full time that have enough work in these specific niches. It can be there can be a bit of a variation, and in terms of compensation, different specializations are gonna be able to command different compensation levels. Some of the higher level ones are the web coding, programming, app development, kind of the middle range ones. Graphic design, there's actually a huge range on graphic design. It can go from very inexpensive to very expensive. Same thing copywriting. Copyright specialists are in very high demand, and you can find very, very inexpensive ones who are going to kind of go for more like the turn and burn blog article, content generation strategies that are going to be looking for a huge amount of volume, and the quality isn't really going to be super important. Those people you can find for relatively inexpensive, depending on kind of what the bar is that you're trying to hit in terms of quality. And then if you're looking to spend a lot of money, the copywriters that write for paid ads or landing pages, sales pitches can command a lot, very, very high costs if they are skilled enough to be able to ask for them. So in terms of the spectrum of the specialist, the sky's really the limit, and you can go from very inexpensive to expensive. But it's kind of the different types of virtual assistants that there are, and I hope that this information has been helpful for you to just kind of know what you're getting into and look at what you want to target from here going forward. So thank you so much for taking the time to to watch. If you have any questions, please comment below. Subscribe if you're interested in more information about virtual assistants and the different nuances of the whole industry. If you subscribe, you'll be the first to know about all the new updates that we have coming up. So thank you so much for checking us out. Have a great day.